See the damage to the 34.
Good evening and welcome to the HSO ran Kart 8 1988 series, coming to you tonight from the Nazareth Speedway for the Nazareth Grand Prix. Round, I may be wrong, but I think it's round 12. Actually. Anyway, from the Nazareth Speedway this evening. If I've written it wrong, then I'll sort it out later. Sorry that I've been running a little bit late, but that's how it is sometimes. In the background you can hear the warm-up going on with everyone getting used to the track with a bit more fuel in the car. The track itself looks like this. It's a more or less a tri-oval, and of course it's the actual name for the place is the Pennsylvania International Raceway in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, United States. I believe it was the home race for Mario Andretti, among others, for a while, since they lived not far from the track. It's a 1 mile tri-oval, and we'll be racing 200 laps for about 200 miles. Looking at points, we can see that after Jakob Fröksen's win at Road America and Grant Vidal's late retirement in that race, Jakob Fröksen leads the championship on 119 points, and David Junt climbed to second in his blue and yellow Andretti machine on 112 points, so 7 points behind, and Grant Vidal stays on his 105 points, 14 points behind Fredriksson, so it's still fairly close in the front, but of course that small mistake from, or unfortunate situation for Grant, has given Jakob quite a good chance in the championship. Jan Kowalski lies 4th on 73 points, and Alan Forster and Richard Wilkes are currently shared in 5th on 54 points. And we were just joined by Jason White. Good evening, Jason, and thank you for joining me for a bit of pre-race chat.
No, it's fine. We had a bit of a delay in the warm-up anyway because of some qualifying issues, so all is sorted now. So that delay allowed you to get on the air at quite the appropriate time. And here's Michal joining too.
Hello.
Hey, Michal, how's it going? Yeah, this is going to be, I'm hoping it's not going to be a yellow fest early on, but judging by what I'm seeing on track, I don't know, we'll see. I'm starting 7th in the race. I'm pretty sure this is my best qualifying performance of the year, so hopefully I'm ahead of all the carnage that will ensue.
I definitely believe that's your best qualifying session of the season.
Just power!
Yeah, I suppose so. Also, we can see one of the Penske's spinning off. Yeah. And yeah, tri-oval, you were talking with me earlier about the track and how the layout works, and a one groove racetrack, more or less.
Yeah, if people found Phoenix to be a one groove racetrack, this is even worse, where that's concerned. You basically only have one groove on the track if you want to go quickly. And if you watch the, I believe in the forum we posted the actual 1988 race, and there's very little side-by-side action going on in that race, and that's largely due to the fact that it's such a narrow groove. And I think the really danger situation for a lot of people, in particular our 3 points, competitors at the front, they're going to have to be very careful when they come across back markers, because more often than not they'll arrive at them at a very awkward moment. So they're going to have to be patient.
Indeed, and it'll also be difficult for those being lapped themselves, because do I stay on the line, or should I move over, or what risk should I take as a lapper to not ruin my own race and not ruin the leader's race?
I think one thing that people have got to make sure they do not do is slow down suddenly, because I know we have a few people that who are just really they mean well, but there's a few people that just like instinctively just react like, oh, here's a faster car, I'll slow down, and that just ends up making more problems. So hopefully that won't happen.
Indeed. Yeah, looking at you qualifying in 7th, what are you expecting from the race? You're hoping to
just to stay out of trouble for the first 20 laps. I mean, that's an excellent place to start on a track like this. I'm just going to try to survive the initial parts of the race and try to plan my pit stops appropriately, and we'll see what happens. See where the chips fall.
Yeah, that sounds like a very good plan. This is the first time I'm seeing Nazareth myself, and it seems very tight. So if anyone makes a mistake, then all hell will break loose.
All right, 20 seconds to go, so I'm gonna go back to my office. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, good luck, mate.
You're welcome to check in on me for yellows if you want.
I'll try to take the opportunity.
Yeah, and don't forget the trivia question.
I got the question last time. I forgot to share the answer, I'm afraid. But
you forgot
at least the link is in the. Okay. If you have watched that video and you haven't found the trivia answer, it's in the description below the video's screen. There's a link to the trivia answer picture that I posted.
Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Enjoy the show. Thanks, Jonathan, again for the broadcast. We really appreciate it.
Thank you yourself for allowing me to do the broadcasts, and good luck.
Oh yeah, we love it. Talk to you guys later.
User has moved out of your channel.
So we are just a few minutes maybe a minute or so away from the race start. And hopefully everyone will be able to manage without too much trouble. And actually I'm a little bit surprised here, because Jon Team seems to have been able to qualify on pole position here. I didn't quite expect that, because he's been struggling a little bit earlier in the season, but really nice to see that he's up to speed. As we can see the safety car coming out behind Jon Team here. Hopefully no troubles will come. No, okay, that worked perfectly fine. So coming out of the pits we have Jon Team on pole position in the number 23. Fredriksson 2nd, Lasina 3rd, Jund 4th, Wilkes 5th, Hackman 6th, White 7th, Saber 8th, 9th for Ridal, and 10th for Jason Fitch, 11th for Chapman, 12th for Lee Simpson, 13th for Brupache, and 14th for Yves Placet, 15th for Grant Ridal, so he's a bit further down the grid, 17th for Della Cella, 18th for Raul Jereb, 19th for Michal Drexler, or that could be 20th, 18th sorry for Drexler, 19th for Ibanez, 20th for Felipe Enrique, 21st for Jan Kowalski, 22nd Claudio Augusto, 23rd for, and last I believe, no, 23rd for Ryan Walker, 24th for Bruno Chacon, David Yates 25th, and Lavach 26th. Well, let's see, we are just about to head to the start-finish line here. And the Jon team coming up, that's the finish line. And there we are, the green flag is out.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
And there unfortunately has been some kind of issue with the start. Okay, so it seems like the safety car was a bit of an issue. I'd assume it could be that Jon might not be quite used to how the safety car works with R factors, so hopefully we'll have a nice little start this time around without any issues. I think the best thing they could probably do would be to hang back a little bit from the safety car on the back straight, but I don't know if that's allowed. We're a little bit of trouble right there. Coming out of the pits by the looks of things, but everyone's still going, I think. If only just. That's a bit strange. Well, looks like it was meant to be. That's an interesting strategy from Jon there. Just trying to find if I'm on a replay or not. I don't think I am. No, I wasn't. Not sure why that was then, but anyway, we are now trying to get to the green flag. Hopefully we'll get it this time around. And yep, it looks like we have the green flag and the race is underway. You can see everyone streaming into turn 2. I believe this is. Very kink at the back. Looks like everyone got through. Not too many issues. Just everyone streaming past in the last little kink here. We can see Ryan Walker's had a brilliant start, gained several positions, which is nice to see. He's a new driver in the series. He's driving the Dale Coyne car this round, and we have a yellow. Let's see if I can find out what for. Oh, it's that looked like David Saber, was it? Oh no, it's Greg Della Cella who unfortunately ended up out of the race with that. Oh no, Ryan Walker is out as well. Wow, what has happened here? Did Ryan try to put a move on or something? I'm not sure if we'll be able to get it or not. Doesn't seem like it. Maybe we'll get it if we follow. Unfortunately not. It seems like there's lagging all over the place. But I'd assume that Greg may have made a mistake or something and Ryan Walker got caught up in it, or the other way around. But either way, we have a yellow on lap 2 of this event, which is really unfortunate. I was hoping to see Ryan do very well, and Greg in a small return to the series. I would have hoped for him to do well as well, but I suppose it was not to be. So looking down the top 10, we have Team still in first, Lasina second, Fredriksson third, Junt fourth, Wilkes fifth. Is Hackman is seventh, so he's having a good event so far. Eighth for David Saber, ninth for Jason White, so he's lost a couple of positions at the start, but still hanging in there very nicely indeed. And rounding out the top 10 is Ray Riddle. 11th for Fitch. Those two are not teammates actually, it's just that they have very similar looking cars. 12th for I believe we're already back to green flag running here. Definitely sounds like it, at least with all the the green light is on and we are back to racing. Looks fairly status quo. Fredriksson had a bit of a moment on the exit there. Jon trying to find a way past, but can't quite make it into the turn 1 kink. Oh, that's a scary change of gear. Oh, and Jon team is in already. What is... That seems very strange. We can see that's Ray, I believe, and not Domino's. It is indeed, so he's dropping back just a little bit. Yeah, Jon team is in the pits, not sure why. Looks like it's a top up of fuel, but that's a little bit late to be doing that, I feel. Because here comes the leaders, and he'll be very close to being lapped if he's not lapped. That's definitely a very, very close call. But he is not quite a lap down yet. Oh, and we have a yellow.
Forward at fuel after qualification.
Oh dear me. Yeah, that's a possibility. Thank you, Michal. Let's see if I can find out who brought out the yellow. Oh, we have... Who is that out of the race? Lee Simpson, unfortunately, is out of this race. Let's see if I can possibly catch that on the replay. It wouldn't seem like it. Well, let's see, where is that? You can only see a little bit of it. Oh, it looks like he's in the pit lane. Wow. Unless that's just lagging and he retired a lot earlier, but yeah, unfortunately he is out of the race as well. So that's three retirements already. That's really saddening to see.
This will be very very hard race. The track is too short, fast.
It's definitely possible. Well, it probably will be a very short, very hard race, but at least the yellows will allow you and the rest of the drivers to have a bit of a moment to rest up. Yeah, 3 early retirements, and the first 2 looked like they could have been involved with each other, but this one I think was completely on its own for Lee, which is very unfortunate, but it is what it is. Grant actually haven't made up any ground either by the looks of things. When that's Raoul Reb is already a lap down. This is Felipe Enrique. Oh, sorry, Jari Brupacher, Peter Lavac, Yves Placé, and Felipe Enrique. As we are now back to green racing. I was trying to have a look. Oh, Jason Fitch is 2 laps down. But otherwise everyone else is racing. Oh, as we have a spinner! Oh dearie me, that's a big one. Oh, and we have another one out. That's... oh no, that's Raoul. And we have Lavac in the wall, and Bruno Chacon got involved as well. And Jason Fitch looks to have been involved as well, possibly. Well, let's see if we can catch what happened.
Whoa.
I see it's Jari Brupacher and Raoul Reb. I see, and then it's Peter Lavac going up the inside. Raoul, oh, didn't quite see him, and those two touched, and Bruno Chacon and Grant Vidal had nowhere to go and got involved as well. Oh, and Felipe Enrique got involved as well. That's why Raoul ended up out of the race, because he got hit by Felipe. Wow. That's really, really unfortunate. Let's see if we can catch that from... so Raoul is out. Let's see if we can find Grant Vidal and ride on board with him for this. Let's try to see what happened from his point of view. He has nowhere to go.
That's just after are too dangerous because cars are in cold state, tires are not warm, good, and the cars are too close together.
And that sounds like a good assessment, Michal. Thank you very much. And it's unfortunate that everyone aren't able to be a bit safer. I see his Placé is out of the race as well. He went into the pits and retired. We'll see, we are back to green. These are very short yellows, I must say. You can see here Jan Team trying to make his way up the grid. That's Grant up ahead by the looks of things. Oh, we have a spinner. Oh, they were able to hold it, if only just. That's David Saber having a big moment. Just about managed to hold it. Nice save. He just overturned it, a bit too much throttle at the same time, but nice little save, and it looks like we avoided yellows, which is nice to see. And that's Michael Drexler ahead of Jan Team, as Jan Team tries to go around outside. That's very brave. Not quite able to make the move yet. When Grant Vidal and Brupacher was side by side. When Jan Team up outside and almost in the wall. This is some very close racing for what is, I believe, about 18th, 16th place, something. Oh, actually 11th. This is Jan Kowalski in the Marlboro car. He swapped after the last round. he has a bit of a slow moment. And there goes Grant up past him. Yon team tries around outside, but ain't able to do so. Oh dearie me! That's Brupacher, I believe, spinning. Avoiding the wall though. Nice save. Not sure if we'll get a yellow or not. And we do, unfortunately. That's a really nice save from Jari. Avoiding disaster. And Michal still leading the race. That's nice to see that Michal is having a nice race.
Martin?
Sorry, that's Martin. My apologies. I'm a little bit out of it. But Martin leading. That's nice to see. He's really improved in the last few rounds. Been up there fighting pretty well. With the others, I think he's finished 4th in the last. Well, 4th and 3rd in the last 2 events. And Ferguson 2nd, Jund 3rd, Wilkes 4th, Ibanez 5th, David Yates 6th, with 7th for Ray Riddell, 8th for Jason White, 9th for Mick Chapman, and Adam Hackman running in 10th at the moment. Field streaming by. David Saber still in the race after his half spin, although he's at the back, and here comes, after repairs I think, Peter Lavac. Yep, that's definitely repairs. He's now 8 laps down, unfortunately. He was one of those involved in that 4-car, 5-car incident a couple of laps ago, but I think we are back to green already. We are indeed. So the green flag is out, and Martin's still in the lead. Doing a nice job so far, and I believe we are back to yellow already, so there must have been an incident somewhere around here. I can't find anyone who seems to have had a... Unless that was just everyone trying to catch up to the safety car, but... No, there must have been a... Well, maybe it was only a half spin. Well, but a half spin for someone, and that brought out the safety car. Similar to what happened to Jari ahead of the last, most recent yellow. This is a neat little camera on the outside of the last turn. Or what I would consider the last turn, turn 4. I think that's someone heading into the pits. And the sounds of things. It's indeed. It's Fitch in the pits, Brupacher and Yates. You can see there Bruno Chacon heading out, just about getting out ahead of the safety car, I think. It will be a close call, but I think he made it. Feels like that's the main rule of thumb around here, just like it was at Phoenix. You don't want to end up a lap down. As long as you can achieve not ending up a lap down, you'll be more or less set. And so we are about to head back to green flag, and the green is out. And we are back to racing speeds. Oh, Grant and White getting a little bit close in the background. Richard Wilkes currently holding on from Grant Vidal. I believe Grant may be running a bit more boost, trying to get up to the front of the field, because he really closed in on Wilkes that time around. You can see Jason White trying to hold on for Jon Team, or a bit of a sideways moment for Jason. So I believe, well, no, we didn't let him by. Oh, Jon Team in the wall, I think. I believe he hit the wall then. Oh, he did. That's a little bit unnecessary, getting that close to racing. I'm not sure who's at fault for that, but it looked a little bit unnecessary either way. When Jason Fitch is out of the race, was he the one who brought out the... I'd assume Jason Fitch is the one who brought out that yellow then, unfortunately. Martin's still in the lead and enjoying a bit of a gap here. And it looks like everyone is slowing down, so there's been another yellow. Something has happened somewhere. Oh, and Jon Team is out of the race. Looks like he may have been involved with someone. Oh. Yeah, there's definitely been something going on. See, he's right behind Adam Hackman, going into turn 1. And he looks like he loses it on his own in the dirty air. Tries to stay up to the wall, but someone didn't realize or didn't see him and hit him, and yeah, that's another couple of guys out, unfortunately. That's Jon Team out of the race, along with Claudio Augusto. I'd assume it was Claudio then, who may not have seen Jon Team off the track there. That's unfortunate. We are already down to 18 runners in this race. We started with 26 and we are 37 laps in. So the laps are ticking by fast, but hopefully everyone that's left in the race will be able to keep it on the track and avoid incidents from now on, because too many yellows and it becomes a little bit boring. But with there being a yellow, let's quickly go to the question for this race. And the question is, who won the last kart IndyCar race at Nazareth on May 6th, 2001? Was it A. Scott Dixon, B. Kenny Breck, or C. Bruno Junqueira? I butchered his name, unfortunately. I do apologize to Bruno, but hopefully he's sort of used to it after racing in America for a while. If he's not American, but I think I'm backing myself in a corner. But anyway, who of these three won the last Nazareth IndyCar race in 2001? But back to the track. The track is green, and there we are. Everyone's still trying. I think if all the yellows keep going, they may make it on a 1-stop. But at least a 2-stop, I believe, should be possible from here. Oh, and we have a spinner. That's Richard Wilkes off to the inside of the track. Hopefully he'll keep their engine running. That looked like a very similar incident to that of David Saber, but he's kept it running. Oh, will we avoid a yellow as well? It looks like it. Really nice job by Richard there, avoiding the yellow. But he'll have to get going pretty soon because the leaders are coming up. Let's ride on board for a couple of laps here with Martin as he goes around the track, and we'll get to see a race driver view of the track. As we can see, it's fast and very furious around Nazareth. Very, very fast indeed. There's hardly a lift. Despite the lack of banking. Well, it looks like Martin may be in the dirty air of Richard Wilkes now. A little bit of understeer creeping in. Of course, Richard won't want to end up a lap down here. He'll do absolutely everything, I think, to try and stay on the lead lap. And stay in the race. Or rather, stay in the hunt for the win in this race. He's now coming up on a slightly slower car as well. Looks like that's Bruno Chacon in the Porsche. And here comes Martin. Ooh. It's a little bit close. Bruno staying wide. And Richard Wilkes going for the inside of him, and Martin with the run trying to go through past both of them. I thought he would, but he was able to keep it nice and steady and avoid too many issues. When Jason White is lapped down, I'd assume he's pitted and lost out in that exchange. Not sure if he might be trying to backtrack the race, so he has last stop, and then might be able to take advantage of yellows to make his way back up the field. And here we can see Martin being under attack now from Alberti Bagnez, who's now sitting in second. So Alberto had a good restart. And of course, Martin is being held up slightly by the dirty air from Richard Wilkes' car, and that's probably why Alberto can be that much quicker than Martin at the moment. And here comes Alberto looking up the inside, but discretion is the better part of valor in that time around. And here comes Martin trying to put a lap on Richard, but Richard holds on for now. And here comes Alberto again trying on Martin a little bit, but again decides to hang back. Owen Wilkes really sideways in the last turn, but still staying ahead. Yeah, this is looking a little bit dangerous now. Oh, and here comes Alberto looking up the inside. That was a little bit naughty from Martin. Looked like he closed down a little bit, moved down a little bit on Alberto there, but I could have seen it wrong. Might have been that Martin didn't notice him and tried to turn into the turn and then noticed that Alberto was up the inside. But Martin still holds the lead, running right behind Richard Wilkes, and Alberto looking for a little bit of a move in the last turn. Clearly his strongest turn on the track. But not quite able to make anything of it yet. And both Felipe Enrique and Jair Brupa were still in the race, but several laps down. And here comes another lapping. And that's another lap on Peter Lavac. So Lavac is really struggling with his car. Here they're carrying some pretty heavy damage after that multi-car pileup that he got involved in, unfortunately. And there goes Jacob trying to make his way past him as well, and makes it in the last turn. Oh, and Richard. Oh no, Richard. Oh. I wonder if he may have. Oh no! No! Oh, that's. Oh. I believe that was Mick Chapman getting really close to ending up out of the race. Oh, it was Bruno Chacon ahead of Richard Wilkes. So Richard Wilkes came in to try and lap him, ran wide, went into the back of Bruno Chacon and span, and then, sensibly I must say, tried to stay in one place to be predictable for everyone. But clearly that wasn't quite the case. See, we can see this from Michael Drexler's point of view. You can see the car pretty early on, but oh, he was indecisive which side to go, and that's some very, very heavy damage, and that's clearly both of them out of this race. When that's, I'm not sure who is that. That's, let's actually see who that is. That is Mick Chapman, as I thought. Having a very... Oh, he actually ended up in the wall. Oh no, and he's out of the race as well. He did such a good job avoiding going into Richard Wilkes' car, but the damage to his car was a bit too much, unfortunately. And with all the pit stops coming and going now, we can see that David Saber is up in the lead. Not sure if he has pitted yet under this particular safety car. He may have pitted earlier. I don't think so. Jason White is still unfortunately a lap down, but only just about. David Junt lies second, Fregson third. Martin Alsina drops to fourth after the pit stop, so that's a bit unfortunate for him. Fifth for Grant Riddell, so he's made his way back up the field again, despite getting involved in that multi-car pileup we saw on around lap 30. Sixth for David Yates, seventh for Jan Kowalski, 8th for Ray Riddell, 9th for Adam Hackman, and rounding out the top 10 is Alberto Ibanez. So Alberto also lost out during the pit stops. And Jason White is actually in 11th as we are coming around to go back to green flag running. And the green is out, and Jason White has a good restart. Apologies for hitting the mic there. But he ain't quite able to make it. Oh, when David Saber goes up the inside. Oh, that's looking very, very close and dangerous. And Martin Alsina has made his way up to second, and we have a yellow by the looks of things, with everyone slowing down. Not sure who that would have been for, but let's have a quick look, see if we can catch Anyone trying to make their way back to the track? No, so I'm not sure who that would have been for, but probably a half spin and a quick recovery, but a yellow being thrown either way.
User joined your
We are
channel.
now 63 laps into this race, as we are joined by Richard Wilkes. Richard, that looked very, very unfortunate.
Well, yes, I don't know what you guys saw, but
Well,
what essentially happened was that I was going to lap Shakan, I think, again. He just slowed down in the middle of the track at the entrance of the last corner. I thought he was going to stay on the inside. I went for the outside, but then he moved to the outside and he kept slowing down. I hit the brakes as hard as I can not to hit him. I avoided hitting him, but the car spun, of course, and then someone hit me, and that was race over.
yeah, we did. From what I could see, you ended up with a bit of lack of downforce by the looks of things, and that's why you ended up spinning in the end. And Michal, who was several cars behind, was a bit indecisive. Probably saw you a little bit late, and with the lack of downforce running right behind the car in front of him, he just wasn't able to choose one side and ended up hitting you.
Well, in my case, I don't even know if it was lack of downforce anymore, because I was full on, brakes on, completely braking and not to hit him, because he was stopping in front of me. He stopped in front of me, I think. He stopped in front of me, and I just avoided to hit him, but the car spun because I was braking hard and turning at the same time, and the car spun because of that.
Well, unfortunately, you're out of the race, but the race is back underway. Feel free to stay and help me out with a bit of an expert commentary if you want, because that would be highly appreciated. And if you stay, we can talk a bit more if we have another yellow or a bit of downtime. But David Sabre is still in the lead in this race, having taken the lead after all the pit stops. I'm not sure if he pitted himself. I suppose he didn't, since he had a half spin and was at the back of the line earlier on. Jason Wyatt trying to stick to him and maybe try to unlap himself, and then hope for a yellow to help him move up the field. And here he almost comes. He had a good run, but decided not to go for it. We can see Grant Rudall is up into third behind Martin Lasina. So Grant really making a good run for this race, despite starting quite far back. And here, White again had a bit of a run, but decided against it. And of course, the longer he waits, the easier it will be for the more danger it'll pose to himself as well, because Martin is, by the looks of things, closing in. And of course Jason has the Yud-powered car, and I believe the car we're riding on board with is powered by a Ford, so Jason is down a few horses, but not as many as he would be if this car was was powered by a Chevrolet engine, which obviously isn't really helping Jason, but still is doing a good job trying to make his way up here and past. A bit of a loose moment there in one. Well, technically two.
If you look back, Jonathan, there's a big fight between Grant Rudall and David Yates at the moment.
Oh, there is indeed. Thank you very much for pointing that out for me. So we can see David Yates taking wide entry there, trying to get a good run, but not quite yet. Oh, but he's right behind him, moves to the inside. Will he go for it? Oh, he's trying, he's up the inside, side by side through turn 3. But he ain't able to do it, and here comes Alberto as well, vying for that position. And Jakob Fredriksson also getting into this fight now. So this is a very tight battle for third now, between 4, soon to be 5 cars, I think, because I thought I saw David Jund closing in as well, and he is. On Jakes up the inside of Grant again. I think he has it this time, as long as he's brave on the brakes. Oh, Grant chops across David Jakes on entry to 3 there, and keeps his position for now. And Alberto trying for a bit of a look through the kink. And Jakes again looking up the inside in 1, or technically 2. Really need to learn these turns. And here comes Alberto up the inside in 3. Jakes giving a good bit of room and loses the position. And Jakob trying to make his way up the inside as well, but not quite able to do it. Well, of course we saw Alberto being fairly quick, so before the pit stop, so surely he should be able to make his way past Grant as well. For a bit of a check up there. And there comes David Jund up the inside of Fredriksson, I think. He is indeed, but he backs out of it. Oh, and Alberto going towards the inside of Grant. Not quite able to do it. Jakes trying for a bit of a cutback. Not able to get, but he's not able to get the power down well enough. And Fredriksson looking up the inside of Jakes. And if Jakes will give him a position, he's trying to hold on to 5th here, and he's able to do it for now. Well, I think. Oh, and Grant in the wall. Oh, Alberto having to take avoiding action. Jakes goes up the inside. Jakes still up the inside. Fredriksson getting by Alberto as well with a good run. Oh, and it looks like Grant is struggling with his car. Alberto goes back up the inside of Fredriksson. And into 3 we go, and Grant holds on, but Alberto regains the position of Fredriksson. Oh, and Jakes had a bit of a moment there. Almost lost the car, span up the left rear wheel and loses 1, 2, 3 positions, I think. Unless he's able to hold on from Fredriksson. He isn't, so he loses 3 positions from one small mistake there. And it looks like Sabre has let White go, possibly. Unless White has... no, sorry, White has dropped back, so Sabre has pulled away. But back to this battle, Grant is still holding on. Alberto right behind him now. Fredriksson in 5th, Jakes 6th. Jund trying to hold on, and Alberto goes up the inside again in 3. Oh, he has a good run this time. And he's able to, I think, get by. No, they're still side by side down the front straight, but into the kink they go, and Alberto takes the position. Oh, Fredriksson looking up the inside as Grant ends up a little bit wide. Oh, almost contact, but Grant holds on. This is a really neat exchange between these guys. Nice to see some good green flag action and fighting. Oh, as Jakes has a big moment trying to put the power on. As Bruno Chacon tries to get out of the way as well as he can. Oh, 3 wide!
Well,
Holy God!
Again, he slowed down in front, right in front of Alberto. Alberto had to take avoided action right away. And, well, now Fredriksson got the better of it.
Oh, my apologies, I didn't quite catch that. Jakes up the inside of Grant again, so they are back to battling with one another as Fredriksson and Alberto fighting between themselves up ahead. And Jund, of course, oh, Jakes having a good run here. He might get him, he doesn't. Oh, as Jakes, I think, hit the wall a little bit then. Oh, and Jake's up the inside in 3 again and takes the position. Grant scrubs the wall a little bit there. That looked a little bit aggressive from Jakes, but I can partly understand that he wants to get on with this race as Jari Brupacher comes out to the pits. Right in the beehive, so to put it in well, maybe you call that, but anyway, looks like it's calmed down a little bit here. But Saber's streeping away with the lead right now, probably hoping for a yellow so he can pit and put some fuel in the car without having to lose too much time. But he has a massive lead right here. Well, for being this track it's massive. It's 7, so make that 8 seconds now. We are down to 15 runners in the race. As I'm giving you a chance to see where everyone stands, you can always pause the video if you need to find your favorite driver or drivers if you have several that you want to do well. Martin Lassine lying second, effective first I think. And Fredriksson of course third, taking advantage of the lapping of Bruno Chacon as a pick, and I believe we have a yellow. We do indeed. Let's see if we can find who that could have been.
I think it was Grant Vidal.
Oh, and we have a bit of a moment slowing down for the safety car as well. I believe Felipe Enrique got hit in the rear by Jan Kowalski, but I'm not sure. It was Grant Vidal, you say? Oh, indeed, he's dropped back a little bit. Let's see if I can possibly catch what happened on the replay. Oh, just like everyone else, more or less, trying to hold on to the position. Goes through one. Oh, he hits the curb. Oh, nice job avoiding the barriers altogether there. Oh, nice avoidance by many of the drivers as well. So Grant very lucky to still be in the race after that. That was very close to the wall and the other drivers, but that gives David Saber a bit of leeway because he has now been able to pit and is out in 5th position, so I believe that should be an effective 6th place for him, because I think some of the others will have pitted as well. Jason White is in the pits and he is unfortunately still a lap down, but like that 11th now as Jan Kowalski goes by him, but still doing a good job in his yard powered car. Jan Kowalski, Jakob Fredriksson slowing down a bit more than I would have expected, but looks like we may be back to green already. We are indeed. So these yellows are very quick indeed this evening. I'm not sure what the race director is on, but he's definitely going quick with the decisions here, both throwing yellows and taking them away. So Martin Lassina in the lead, Jakob Fredriksson sitting in second. Sorry, Grant Vidal took the lead on the restart. And it's Martin followed by Jakob, and I believe that should be Adam Hackman sitting in 4th at the moment. As Fredriksson looks for a bit of a move on Martin, but he ain't able to pull it off. West Grant has a very slow turn 2 there. Might have been held up slightly by Peter Lavac, who would have been ahead of him, but he has a good 3. Round into 2 again. Fredriksson looking for a bit of a move on Martin. Can't quite make it up the inside. He may have a run here though, going into 3. He does indeed, and Jakob goes up into 2nd, right behind his championship rival. And he surely doesn't want Grant to pull in too many points here. And oh, Grant had a bad run. Here comes Fredriksson going up the inside. Oh, there's contact. Oh, Jakob spinning. Oh no, 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 no. I think contact was avoided. If only just. Not sure though. Let's see if I can get to Fredriksson. There he is. Let's watch that on the replay. See, he goes up the inside. Grant feels like Grant more or less turns in on him. And of course, with the contact, Jakob spins, nudges the wall a little bit with the rear end, and here comes Peter Lavac. Oh, he was side by side with David Saber. Well, I believe he just about avoided making contact with Jakob Fredriksson there. He spins back the other way onto the track, but both of them able to continue, which is nice to see. That was a very close call for all of them, as Jakob goes into the pits to fill up the tank, and I believe Jason is still in the pits, so he must be repairing damage or something. I haven't seen him in the wall, but clearly he must have been in the wall somewhere. Don't know, have you seen if he's been in the wall at all, Richard? Or Michal?
I have the pictures some seconds later than real action.
Okay.
I'm watching on YouTube. So.
Okay. I was wondering if you may have seen Jason White going into the pits, into the wall somewhere, or make contact with anyone, but it looks like we are going back to green flag racing here. Martin's still in the lead, which he'll be very happy with. We are on lap 102, so we've just a few moments ago passed the halfway point. As we are back to green flag racing, and Alberto sitting in 2nd, looking for the move. Isn't able to do it here, and Martin holds on for now. David Yates in 3rd. Looks like David Saber 4th and David Junt 5th. So in one fell swoop, David Junt has, I believe, the championship lead, if it finishes as it is right now. Grant ended up 6th after that, so he lost out a little bit, but not as much as Jakob Fredriksson did. And I believe Jakob should still be on the lead lap. He is indeed the last car on the lead lap, going up the inside of Jared Brupacher here. We put a lap on him. And I believe Jakob will be a little bit displeased with the situation as it is right now, but I'm sure he'll do a good job with regaining the positions he lost here, and we'll see how this goes. He's right behind Ray Riddle here in the Domino's pizza car. Not quite able to put a move on there. But he looks up the inside, not quite able to do anything with it, and it looks like Jakob is able to run it in 5th gear compared to we saw David Junt early in the race changing down to 4th. So I guess Jakob has a very well handling car and a good good gearbox setup underneath him. And I believe one of the cars ahead was in the wall a little bit. Not quite sure who that was, but here comes Jakob up the inside of Ray to pass him for 8th, I believe. He did indeed. Next in the line is Adam Hackman, and then it's I think that's Grant Vidal up ahead, making contact with the wall here and there. Oh, and here comes Eriksson up the inside of Adam Hackman. A very brave and opportunistic move, but I think he's made it. And Ray trying to follow Eriksson through on Hackman. As Hackman runs wide, and there's Jan Kowalski in number 20, trying to make a little bit of room. When he's in the wall a little bit. And Hackman was able to hold on to 8th, so Fredriksson up to 7th. We'll see if there's stuff going on for the lead as well. Martin Lasinas under attack from both David Yates and Alberto Ibanez here, and David Junt ain't too far behind either. So David Saber has lost out a little bit here, but still in the hunt. Despite what he was saying on the forums earlier, he thought, looking at the... Oh dear me, Jason White is in the wall. Going slowly against the wall, that's saddening to see. Because he was having a really good race up until then. Not sure if he's span it down to the inside of the track. I think he may try to make it back to the pits, although he has quite a bit to get there. He has a rear right puncture. Or possibly suspension damage. Oh, he's spinning and hit the wall again. Don't know if he may decide to retire here. No, he's still trying to get it to the finish. Of course, this is an oval race and he wants to have the best race possible. Unless there's heavy suspension damage to his car, he should be able to make it to the finish. I believe, yep, the yellow is out, so Martin dives into the pits. Always Jason White spins in front of him, but no harm done. Ferguson comes into the pits again, maybe to repair damage this time. Possibly. No, just a quick splash and dash for Jakob. I think Martin is in for a little bit longer. I haven't seen him go by yet. And there was Jason White. I think he's making another lap with his damaged car. Don't know if he may have received a penalty because he's a lap down, well, several laps down now, so I don't know if the game tells him to do another lap before he can...
He had closed the pits, I think, because he was not in a reading club.
Ah, okay. That's very unfortunate for him. Because he'll struggle a bit more here, because clearly the car ain't easy to drive like that. And, despite it only being a mile around the track, it's still a very long mile when you have damage to your car. But we are 117 laps into the race, with so 80 now 8. Trying to see what the finish line is. It's early or late, but yeah, 83 laps left in the race. As the safety car is slowing down, so we're going back to green flag racing once again.
An interesting point, Jonathan, if I might add, is that the 4 first cars all have the heavy, or in the case of Unit, the more powerful new positive engine.
Oh, that's very true indeed. Well, a lot of this track is. Well, I believe we're back to yellow again. That was a very quick try for a drive, but let's see if we can find out who may have had a moment or not. Probably just a half spin somewhere. Can't see anyone now. But yeah, a lot of this track is full throttle, and of course with the high speeds and low banking, you have to have quite a bit of wing on the car, don't you?
Yes, that's true. A lot of drag that you have to run on this track. You still have to lift because you're running a setup that allows you to go all the way with your foot down will actually make you slower, but you run as much as you can without slowing you down.
And of course, the heavier, the more powerful engine may help turn the car a little bit as well.
It will help, especially after you come out of the last corner, because it's uphill. So the extra torque or power of the most powerful engines definitely can help there.
Indeed, and of course, with a more powerful engine, you could probably run 1 or 2 click more wing on the car without going slower than the cars that's running the Ford or the Yacht powered.
Oh yes, well, if you have power to spare, you can indeed do that. You can allow yourself to have more grippy or a more stable car and still not lose much time.
Although saying that, I've seen Yakes have several moments in this race, so I don't think he's doing that, but maybe Alberto in that Penske is running that kind of setup. Because I haven't seen him make any major mistakes. As the safety car is slowing down, so I think we'll go back to green flag racing. Oh, we have a spinner in the background. Oh, that's Martin Lacina. Whatever happened there?
Oh,
Oh dearie me. Well, I think that may turn out to be a small penalty, because that looked like a clear running into the back of someone. Not a big hit, I don't think, but yeah, just not anticipating the slowdown and giving Martin a bit of a nudge, but both of them still in the race, and the race is still back to green. I thought the yellow would go for another lap with that. But the race is green, so Martin lost out a little bit there, but still on the lead. Oh, he's actually in the pits. We must have picked up some suspension damage from that. Then I'm afraid. Philippe will find himself in a bit of trouble with that. So unfortunately, Martin is out of the running of this race now. At least running for the win. He's still probably in the race, but of course, ending up a lap down, like I mentioned earlier, it'll be very difficult to get the laps back. And Alberto now has the lead, so he had a good restart while all that was going on. It looks like he's actually able to pull away a little bit from David here, so Looks like Alberto has that Penske car very well set up for this, especially for running on his own. I think he had a little bit of understeer when running behind others, but on his own he seems to definitely have the pace here. Saber 4th, Grant Vidal in 5th. Fredriksson again trying to make his way up the grid. They again have to go past both Ray Riddell and Adam Hackman, although having made quick work of them last time round, I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to do it again. And I believe Jacob is doing the sort of old strategy of always having a full tank, and if there is a last pit stop, he should have a few seconds less stoppage time to fill the car up, and that could make all the difference in terms of getting out ahead of everyone else. When Grant spins, Grant has spun, he's in the inside barriers. Looked like another one, let's see, ended up wide on the entry. Tried to put the power down and the car snapped sideways on him as he put the power on. He just slightly nudged the inside barriers. I don't think we have a yellow. We do have a yellow, unfortunately. So again, the race director is a little bit quick on the trigger button, but at least the race will hopefully finish on the green as Alberto heads into the pits. David stays out. David Jund stays out. David Saber heads into the pits. 3 Davids in the top 4. I believe that was that's David Saber indeed. I thought there was someone else. Number 30 Domino's Ray Riddell is in the pits. Grant is in the pits as well, which is understandable after that spin. He'll want some new rubber. And Martin Lassina is back out on the track. Unfortunately, he is 8 laps down to the leader after having to repair his car. But hopefully he'll be able to finish and score a few points and still keep himself somewhat pleased with this effort, despite the situation as it ended up being in terms of the race. Bruno Chacon is in the pits. Jari Burpachö, I believe that was, is in the pits. And I believe that's everyone that's going to pit this time around during this yellow. I keep forgetting to put the yellow flags in the software, my apologies. So we have 133 laps to go. I think, I'm not sure how many laps they can do in a stint, but I'd assume around 35. Around here. Considering how they've been running in the past few stints. I believe we may have one more. No, the safety car is in. So we're getting back to green flag racing. And David Yates goes and the green flag is out. And David Jund in second, Fredriksson up to 4th, right behind Adam Hackman. One is looking very tight behind. I believe that is that would be Jan Kowalski. Fighting with Martin Lacina. Lacina trying to unlap himself. And here comes Alberto Ibanez up behind these two. Going up the... Oh, this is not going to be 3 wide, is it? Oh, almost. Oh, dear me. Jan Kowalski all out of shape after a bit of a nudge from Alberto as Alberto tried to lap them, and thankfully Jan was able to hold on to the car. Martin Lacina laps himself, and David Saber laps Jan for another time. Here comes Ray Riddle as well, trying to lap him. Let's see, it looks like Adam Hackman has actually pulled a little bit of a gap on Fredriksson here, which is somewhat interesting to see. I didn't quite expect that. Looks like Jason White is still in the race, which is nice to see after his repairs for a second time. He's indeed still in the race, but 29 laps down, but nice to see that he is still pressing on, trying to get as good a finish as possible. And I'm really happy for Adam Hackman. He's really improved in the last few rounds, and now running third at the moment. If he finishes there, that would be by far his best finish of the season. I think he's finished 6th or 7th before. My apologies for being silent for a moment. I had to cough, and I don't think you would have wanted to hear me coughing into your ears. Just having a look at some others. Oh, yeah, it looks like Bruno is a little bit hard to read at times when you're coming up to lap him. But everyone that started this green run is still in the race at least, so that's good to see. I believe Grant may have slipped down a lap or two. He has indeed. It's 2 laps down now, so we have 7 cars on the lead lap. Ray Riddle being the last of those. David Yates in the lead, enjoying a little bit of a gap to David Junt, who himself has a bit of a gap to Adam Hackman, who has a bit of a gap to Jacob Ferguson, and then it's Alberto Ibanez, who I believe is catching up, if only a little bit. I believe we have a yellow. We do indeed. See, I thought I saw some sliding marks. I think it may have been Jason White pulling that yellow out. Was indeed. Looks like he lost it on the entry. Yeah, he did a bit of a Scandinavian flick-like motion there and went sideways. David Yates just about avoids him, and Jason White spins to the pit lane road and keeps going. That's unfortunately another yellow. And I believe David Yates headed into the pits because Jacob Fredriksson is now in the lead. Well, actually, while we still have a bit of a yellow and just about 50 laps to go, let's go back to the trivia question actually and finish that off. So the question was, who won the last kart IndyCar race at Nazareth on May 6th, 2001? Was it A. Scott Dixon, B. Kenny Brick, or C. Bruno Junqueira? And the correct answer to that is Scott Dixon, as I believe someone answered in the chat. I can't remember exactly who it was now, but it was indeed Scott Dixon. I'm not sure, but it may have been his first IndyCar win. Although I could be wrong. I haven't, to put that in perspective, I haven't really watched the most modern series, but while I'm mesmerizing in other stuff, the race is back underway. As you can hear in the background, nothing major has happened yet, I don't think. Although as I say that, there is a bit of a little bit of a group behind Alberto here. It is indeed. And you can see it's Ray Riddle in the middle of it, Martin Lasina, Jan Kowalski, David Saber. David Yates is in here as well. David Saber looking up the inside a little bit there, but can't make anything of it. There's just a small little gap opening up here. As Saber is being put under pressure from Yates. Looking closer than it was, but the battle is definitely on here between these three. It takes you just a couple of laps to get the run back on to try and go for a move. As Yates is proving right here, it's behind. Oh, and we have a big off. Oh, that's Alberto. No. Wow, what happened there? And he's out of the race, which is understandable. He lost the wheel. Oh no. You must be joking. Let's see, they both come up on a lapper. Ferguson goes up the inside. Alberto tries to go up the inside, puts the power on and loses the car. Oh dearie me. Alberto definitely won't be happy with that one. But yeah, unfortunately the last of the Penske's are out of the race. There'll be enough laps for everyone behind him to go by and gain another point or two. But that's really unfortunate. He was having such a great race, leading for portions of it and sitting right behind Jakob Fredriksson when that happened. And of course the Penske is, especially when you're able to run it on the power a lot, one of the quickest cars in the field. which is sort of proved, especially around Indianapolis, where it's qualified, where the Penske is qualified 1, 2, 3. But yeah, that's one of those situations again, I suppose. And unfortunately, Jason White is out of the race. He was running before, so I suppose he decided to park it due to the damage he was carrying. Yeah, let's see, the safety car is slowing down again, so I think we're going back to green flag this time around, where we will have 39 laps to go. I think there may be one more stop for everyone to do for the end of this race. And this will be nice for Jacob. He has a bit of a buffer in the form of Bruno Chacon on the start here. That looked very close. Oh, we have a spinner in the background. Oh no, that's Adam Hackman. Oh, nice avoidance by... I think that may have been Jari Brupacher who had to avoid Adam Hackman there. Oh, it was in the EFA car, yeah, it was indeed. And let's see what happened. If we can, the green has just been thrown, going into the kink. Oh dearie me. So Adam's apologies, checked up just a little bit to give himself a little bit of room, and Jan Kowalski didn't quite read that and got into the back of Adam there, span him around. That's really unfortunate, but Adam is still on the lead lap, now sitting in 6th place. Last car on the lead lap. And as long as he's on the lead lap, he should have the possibility of scoring a podium, or at least a good few points. But yeah, it's just some really unfortunate situations, and I believe the safety car may have been thrown earlier, so he is allowed to regain a couple of positions here, by the looks of things. I believe was that? No, that surely wasn't a safety car in the pits. Again, Adam Hackman moving up a little bit more. Yes, he is. I'm not entirely sure where he should be, but he should clearly be somewhere in the field. Looks like he may be 5th. As we are now getting prepared to go back to green again. And that slowdown is a little bit dangerous for everyone. Let's see, we're heading back to green flag racing. Again, Frickson has a little bit of a buffer in the form of Martin Lacina. Although calling that a buffer is a bit much maybe, but the green is out once again. And the race is underway. Let's see, everyone got through the kink okay by the looks of things. Only just, I believe, that might be Felipe Enrique coming out to the pits. It is indeed, maybe. No, that would have been Jari Brupacher who was in the pits. As we are joined by Jason White. That looked very unfortunate. You had a very good race going there, mate.
Well, it's my fault. What happened? I was experiencing a really severe push early on. Whoa! Shoot! Saber's spun out.
Oh no! Oh no! Wow. Yeah, that was very close for, I believe that was Jan Kowalski having to take to the inside of the track there.
Good grief.
Holy God in heaven.
Oh, Jason.
Hey, how's it going? No, but I made a mistake on a pit stop. I stopped during one of the yellows to add more front wing because I was having a really heavy push in traffic. And when I got out of the pits, the car was handling better, so it did work. The only problem is when the fuel went down, I then had a loose car towards the end of the stint, and that caused me to crash. So, I mean, I should have known better than that. It's like, you know, I've run enough oval races to know that that's the case. I guess I counted too much on the ground effects to make up for it. So then I, came in, made lengthy repairs, came out again. I mean, I was still within sight of the bottom of the points, so I figured I had a shot at scoring 1 or 2, but then it was clear that the car was not drivable, and I nearly took Lucina out of the race, which really was stupid. So I I was like, I'm going to park the car because I do not want to screw up the points fight for sure. Don't want to take someone out simply because I'm in the way, so I got out of the car. But it was really frantic out there. It's just trying to. I had contact with John Team earlier, and he was on the outside. I was on the inside. I had the line, we just ran out of room, and I clipped his left front. I mean, it's just you're working with a very narrow corridor out there. So I'd be surprised if we have 10 cars finish this race.
Indeed, we did catch that on the broadcast, and it looked very unfortunate, a little bit, I was saying at the time, a little bit unnecessary maybe, running too wide in there, but then just a few laps later there were 3 wide action going on, so...
Oh jeez.
Everyone being a little bit, uncareful in general, but yeah.
Well, the good news is we've got Grant, Jacob, and Yunt all still running. So the championship is still being contested here. If any of these guys was taken out by a stupid accident, that would have been really unfortunate. So I'm just glad that these 3 guys are, for the sake of the audience and the sake of the championship, I'm glad they're still running.
Indeed. It's a bit unfortunate Alberto ended up after the race a little while ago, and...
oh god, that's too bad, because he was doing really well.
Yeah. That was a lapping gone wrong. Him and Jacob tried to make their way past Bruno Chacon, and Alberto tried to do it on the exit of 2, I believe it was, and the car just snapped sideways on him as he put the power on.
What did we say? Lapping was going to be tricky. We're back to green. So
Indeed, we've been back to green for a lap here. No real moves being done at the moment. That's why I felt I had the time to tell you about that. Ooh, Hackman a little bit sideways.
Do you want me to hang around, or...?
You're very free to hang around and help out with a bit of expert commentary.
Is that alright, Michal?
Yes, but I have the picture little delayed because I'm watching on YouTube. So I saw the yellows and greens later. Big shame for Martin Lassina, who was leading long time, but then on yellow he was hit from behind and lost many laps in the pit.
Indeed, and it's one of those situations that shouldn't happen, but they happen occasionally.
David position right here because he is not in the points fight and really has nothing to lose, so he can race really fast and loose if he wants to, but at the same time he's sandwiched between the 2 championship contenders, 2 of them, so he doesn't want to do something stupid and ruin a race for either of these guys. So
well, I feel like we've said that before in this championship, haven't we? About David Yates.
Well, he's a part-time. He comes in occasionally. when there's a availability. Unfortunately, Yuha couldn't make it onto the server today because of some kind of technical issue on his end, so David jumped in the car. Now it looks like he's got a good chance to look inside of it. See, the problem on this oval is, you've got the huge problem of the air just being taken right off the front when you're that close, and it's like these big hands just shoving you out to the outside. Oh, and there it is. David just brushed the wall, and that's what I'm talking about. You're running that close to a car in front of you, and the yellow's out. I don't think that's for anything that happened here.
Oh, Grant Vidal is spun.
Oh, no.
Hit the wall a little bit by the looks of things.
Well, there's a championship contender that's going to have problems.
We hit the wall pretty hard, understeered really heavily, and ended up in the outside barrier. And
server's going to tell him to run around the track once, I think. Yeah, he goes through the pits, back out. He's going to have to. Yeah, he's going to have to circle once because the pits were closed. I think he'll be able to come in this time.
I believe that's wasn't that what happened to you as well one time?
Yeah, it's a typical. That's the double-edged sword of the pits being closed. Is you have to run around again. It looks from the way that Grant's car's handling is that they're sending him more time. It looks as if he's only lost his rear wing. He doesn't seem to have much suspension damage from the way he's tracking.
It looks like he had just a little bit of damage, but not
to the extent that some other people like myself did when we touched the wall. So
well, indeed.
We'll see. So now, hopefully, this time the card officials will say, "Okay, you can come in now, Grant."
Indeed. Well, back in the day, even if the pits were closed, if you were a danger of some kind, you would be able to, I believe, make some small repairs at least.
The main reason for the pits being... Oh, they're sending him through again. Good grief. The main reason for the pits being closed is so that the pace car can gather up the cars and nobody gets a free lap.
Indeed, and that might be what the game is feeling like he's trying to do or something, but yeah. I believe we were joined by Ryan Walker. Welcome to the booth, Ryan.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll say it again. Thanks, Jonathan.
Yeah, that was a short and furious race, but it looked like you had a decent start at the time I watched you. It looked like you were up in the top, in the low teens before you ended up out of the race.
Yeah, I got off to a pretty decent start. I decided to take the cautious approach and just try and settle into a rhythm. And then David Jakes, who started behind me, got a run on me, so I decided to let him go since he was in a much quicker car and there was no point fighting. So yeah, and then a few cars in front of me just checked up and it caught me out and I nudged the wall, and then heading into turn 2 or turn 3, I must have had suspension damage and got sideways and hit the wall. So yeah, that was my race over on lap 1, but it's a fun series and a fun mod, and I will definitely be back at the next round if there's a car available.
That's nice to hear. The race is underway again, so sorry Ryan, but if there's another yellow we can come back to you if there's a bit of downtime. For the time being it looks like there's a battle for second brewing, well, second, third, fourth and fifth, because they're all in a line. Make that sixth because David Sabre is in line as well.
Grant is still in the pits. He's currently scoring his 8th, but he's going to be dropping down the order. He's 3 laps ahead of Bruno Chacon, so if he can get out of the pits, he'll stay ahead of him. But it's very critical for Grant to get out of the pits as fast as he can, because every point is precious. I mean, right now he's putting himself in great peril of losing ground to Fredriksson and Junt in the championship.
Indeed, and at the front it looks
there
like...
There he goes. He's exiting the pits now.
Okay, that's good.
1 lap ahead of Bruno, so if he can keep his nose clean, we know that his car is faster than Bruno in the Porsche, so in fact here he comes around now. Bruno might actually get back on the same lap as he is. No, he just got out ahead of him, so hopefully, so he's looking at finishing about 8th if he stays where he is. Meanwhile, Yeah, the fight for the lead at the front is really evening out. This is basically a 3-car battle turning into it.
Indeed, and Hackman ain't that far behind, and I know he was running third and had more or less the pace, so he can still get himself involved.
So we currently have, Jonathan, 6 cars on the lead lap. The first one that's a lap down is Jan Kowalski, who's driving in place of Michal Janak.
Ooh, David Yates has a run here. Going into the king is right behind him. He's going up the inside.
He forces him out wide.
Oh, Jacob trying to hold on.
It's hard to do back there.
Oh, nice. Oh, nicely done, Jacob. Oh, good man. Good job by Jakes as well, keeping it tight. Oh, he's in the wall. I think he has a little bit of... Yeah, I think he has a little bit of damage from that, maybe. Looked like a pretty hefty hit.
Forced out by the air that came off of the wing. You just, I mean, like, when you're in that situation, I mean, it just shoves you out there. Now, oh, be careful!
Oh, dearie me! Oh, we have a yellow.
And we have a yellow.
Oh, it looks like it'll be for Jan Kowalski here. Yep, he has had a bit of a spin, similar to that of... yeah, he had the same kind of spin that Alberto had earlier. He tried a bit of a tighter line and got on the power, and the rear wheel span up on him.
Well,
kept the car running, just glanced the wall a little bit.
Everybody get your popcorn ready, because we have, I mean, it's 191 laps complete now, and we've got Jacob leading with David Yunt in second, the two, the first and second in the championship, unless I'm mistaken. Right,
that is indeed the case.
So we've got the championship fight for the lead with 9 laps to go right in front of us. It doesn't get any better than this.
And then we have the dark horse of David Yates, who definitely has the pace to fight them, unless he picked up some damage.
He's on a wounded Steve now, I think.
Well, possibly. And that would open up an opportunity for Hackman if that's the case, and he's not had a podium yet at HSO, and if he can score a podium here, I think he'll be really happy with that.
Hackman is from Indiana, so these cars are very near and dear to his heart. So finishing, I mean, and he's had one other really good result this year in the series. He finished 5th in one race, I believe. So this is going to, I mean, this finish is going to be fantastic. I mean, assuming that nobody, okay, what's going on here? Is Yunt going for the pits? No, no, he's
playing games.
He's playing amateur psychologist.
I'm not doing that good of a job at it by the looks of things.
Well, I mean, we all did the same thing at Cleveland, if you remember.
Ah, indeed.
It was fun.
Well, fun for you guys. A little bit more troublesome for me trying to.
Did you give the trivia answer?
Yes, I have given a trivia answer. I gave it during the, I think it's 2 yellows ago, around lap 150 something.
Cool.
So I have remembered that this time around.
Okay, I was just curious. That's all.
Yeah, no problems.
All right.
I feel very trusted.
Alright, let's see.
Anyway, I think we will have a green flag this time around.
Oh god, it's going to be a huge sprint. And now it looks like Jakes has got Chacon in between him and Yunt. Not that Chacon's going to make a huge problem for him at the start. He's probably going to move straight out of the way. Chacon was doing that with me when I was racing him for position, which surprised me. But
yeah, the safety car slows down, so we have a green flag this time around.
Yeah. Well, I guess the only nice thing about that is that we can tell when the green.
Yeah, I was commentating on that earlier, that it was a little bit, dangerous.
This is the same course we used for the '98 race. Nobody complained about it then, so. All right, here we go.
Well, everyone being a bit more edgy, but the green flag is out. The race is underway, and Yunt immediately tries for a run. Not quite able to do anything with it though. When Hackman is under attack from Ray Riddle in the background. I just noticed.
Jont's got some time here. He's got to size up Fredrickson.
If he can, I don't know if he has the pace really. He's been running behind people all day. I haven't seen him in clear traffic yet.
But this, at the very least, will kick the can down the road for the championship.
John got a little bit sideways there.
Yeah, we go to Laguna Seca for 2 weeks. Oh shoot!
Trying to put Jacob in under a bit of pressure. Ooh, putting himself under pressure instead.
Wall. So I think if I were David at this point, I would just try to bring it home because he's still, the championship is still going to be alive after this.
Yeah, well, that's not quite how David does it, but he may.
I know.
He may sometimes, but yeah, I think considering how far back he is, I think he may decide that's the better part of discretion, the better part of valor. Let's see, we have 198, so we'll have the final lap coming up.
Right now, as they come out of the turn here, a white flag will be displayed to Jacob Fredrickson.
When Junt has a run, Junt is coming for it, he definitely wants it. He's closed down immensely on the last turn. I think he's turned the wick up to maximum here, trying to find just a bit more pace. Trying to find a bit of clean air.
Trying to get a bit more of a run.
Trying to put him under pressure again. Jacob just about missed his turning point, but no, David spins, no! Oh, we have the finish. I'm not sure if David finishes second or third. Oh, David is way down. He finishes 6th. Wow.
Unbelievable.
David. Was that really necessary, mate?
Well, that is.
Oh dearie me. He'll be really unhappy with that.
And Grant Riddall's breathing a sigh of relief.
Indeed.
Because that puts him a little closer in terms of points. But goodness, now Fredrickson is going to pull out. I mean, Hackman finishes 3rd, so he gets his first HSO podium.
Big congratulations, Adam. That's a fantastic result.
And Saber, after all the drama he had, finishes in 6th or 5th. That's amazing considering. I still can't believe he completed that. And given all the crazy stuff he had to deal with, I think that says a great deal about his skill.
It does indeed.
Brupacher scored points too, and so did Slavic. So.
And Jakob Fredrickson went into the winner's circle and did some burnouts. By the way, just noticed that.
Oh, he did. Good. Yes, he did. He's in the winner's circle. I see. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jacob now is basically, it's his championship to lose. He's got Laguna Seca coming up and then Tamiami. So.
Not the easiest tracks to lead a championship.
No, but he's in a position where the other guys have to take maybe chances that he doesn't. We'll have to see what the points total up to be. But
User joined your channel.
Indeed.
All right, I will.
It'll be really tight either way.
I'm gonna go take care of the results. So I'll talk to you guys later.
Yep. Thank you for joining me, Jason, and hope all goes well with the points.
User disconnected from your channel.
So I noticed we were joined by Jon Team. Good evening, Jon.
Tjena. Hello.
Hello.
Not gonna be taken in Swedish, okay?
No problems. No one else would understand it anyway. So.
So.
Looked like you had a really good qualifying session, Jon, but the race didn't quite go to plan.
No, maybe I was a bit too aggressive. I got a stop and go penalty for the safety car.
Oh.
So I did the restart. I was a bit too ahead of the safety car. It was making some stupid moves and stuff.
Yeah, the slowdown on the back straight, you mean? Or was it later? But yeah, that's really unfortunate. I was wondering why you were in the pits. I thought you were doing a splash and dash or something. Yeah, it looked like you had a good race going. Then you made up quite a few positions, but then it all went wrong with the Jason there.
Yes, maybe I should apologize to Jason. I was a bit aggressive on the outside, but
yeah, well, a bit of a racing incident from what I could see. So either way, nice to see you moving up the grid in qualifying, and hopefully in the last 2 races you'll get some good finishes out of that. And also, so Ryan, the last 2, well, both of you really, well, all 3 of you I suppose, last 2 races, Laguna Seca and Tamiami, are you looking forward to those races, or you think it'll be a bit too difficult, or what are your thoughts? Maybe Ryan could go first if he wants.
Yeah, I done some laps around Laguna Seca this morning actually, just to see how the car was around there, and it's a good combination, and it should produce great racing. And yeah, as I said earlier, if there's a car available, then I'll be there, because it's a fun mode to race.
Yeah, that sounds good. And Michal, Tamiami and Laguna Seca.
I like the Laguna Seca, nice track for me. Will be interesting race.
That sounds good. Sounds very promising for both of you. And yeah, I think I'm sort of out of questions here, and it's getting a little bit late, so I think we'll cap off the broadcast here. Thank you very much, fellas, for joining me in the booth, and thank you to all the racers for putting on a good show and doing their best. And until next time, which I think is in 2 weeks at Laguna Seca, take care everyone, and I hope you have a good couple of weeks.
Thanks and bye.
User disconnected from your channel. User disconnected from your channel. User left your channel. User disconnected from your channel.